Alright, today we're going to kind of walk you through how to make a neck knife. It's kind of a neat little gift to give to your buddies when we go on a special hunt or something like that. Just to hand these out to everybody, it's kind of neat. Something to remember, it's really inexpensive to make. You kind of resurrect some old broadheads. Today I'm going to use a Bear razor head. Here's some of the tools that you'll need. You'll need a drill motor to drill. Make sure the drill bit's same diameter as the insert that you're going to be using. We got some epoxy, hacksaw blade, an old shed, and of course your favorite old broadhead. This is a Bear razor head. Probably killed more animals in North America than any other head out there. Anyway, the first thing you want to do is kind of pick a tine that you're going to use. Here's an example of a neck knife. This is actually a pronghorn antelope shed that we found. We just cut the tip of it off, and it's got a Magnus 125 on it. So just find a horn that looks good, cut it off. Once you get your piece of horn cut out that you want, you might want to take some sandpaper and kind of just rough the edges up. You can polish the horn, whatever you guys want to do. It's up to you how much time you want to spend on them. So we're going to take the drill. Probably need to use the vise again. So you just drill a hole, get it centered up in that horn, check the depth, make sure you got enough of the hole drilled in there that's going to fit your insert in. Always good to do a dry run. Just made a dry run, make sure that the insert fits in there good, and then kind of look at how your broadhead lines up. This particular tine has got like a little dip in it right there, so it's kind of good to hand hold, and the way it turns for a right-handed, really works pretty good. I'm using a 2-part epoxy. It's a JB Weld, just so this thing doesn't come apart when you're using it. And I actually had a friend of mine field dress a deer with his neck knife I gave him, so they do work. Anyway, get it lined up, and you got yourself a neck knife. Alright, today we're going to finish up the neck knife. We're going to build the sheath today. So what you'll need is a piece of scrap leather. You can get this at any leather supply house. A hole punch. You'll need to get some rivets, a pair of scissors, and a pen. And that's all you need, and we'll get to going on this. We want this sheath to fit, or this knife to fit very tight in the sheath, so it actually holds it in. Something very similar to this. So we're going to start off with is we're going to take the outline of the broadhead. It depends on what type of broadhead you're using. And make your marks on the back side of the leather. What we're going to do is kind of just do a trace to give us enough room to get the broadhead in there. Just going to make sure that you got enough room to get the rivets in there, and then it's going to hold it tight. You can make any final adjustments that you want. And we're just going to duplicate this. Alright, there you got both halves. Just match them up, make sure they're all good. I'm going to start in the corners. Again, just kind of match it up as you go. You could do as many rivets as you want. You can kind of use your imagination. It's best if you can punch through both sides, just to give you, make sure it's even. Okay, we've got both halves punched through. Just make sure the holes kind of line up so your rivets go in. And you'll need a piece of scrap wood or whatever just to protect your bench, because you'll be pounding on this. You want to decide which is going to be your front. I think I'm going to use this for my front. So I'm going to put the rivets in this way. Lined up, and then just take your little hammer. And there you got your first rivet in. Yeah, to finish this off, if you want to put this on some type of necklace so it can hang here, you could punch a hole in it, you know, put some type of ring in there, and then just a nice leather strap or whatever you want to do. You could doll it up any way you want and customize it. The only other thing I would probably do is maybe take a little bit of rough sandpaper and finish off the edge of the two halves meet to give it a nice clean look. I just have some 60 grit sandpaper, and if you sand that leather off, it just gives it a nicer look. And there you have it. You got your neck knife for friends, family, hunting partners. Go ahead and make these. Make great gifts. Extremely inexpensive to make. All right, on one of the upcoming segments, we're going to show you guys how to make a wing bone turkey collar. Save your spring gobbler harvest. Take the sock, don't break the bone, just kind of cut away and get to the socket, save that wing, freeze it, and we're going to take you step by step how to make one of these. These things work really well, and it's just kind of a neat call to have in your arsenal when you go on your next spring gobbler hunt.